before you this morning is case number 24-CR-1415, captioned State of Ohio versus Jeremy Thomas. Case was last before the court judge on February 12th of 2025. At that time, the defendant pled guilty to 3 counts. Count 1 was a charge of operating a vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs or a combination, a felony of the 4th degree, violation of ORC 4511-19A1A. Count 2 was a charge of unauthorized use of a vehicle, a felony of the 5th degree, violation of ORC 2913-02. It's a felony of the 5th degree because the victim was an elderly person. Count 3 was a charge of failure to stop after an accident, a misdemeanor of the 1st degree in violation of ORC 4549-02A. The defendant is present today in court with counsel. Mr. Watson, we're here for purposes of sentence.
Mr. Watson.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. Mr. Thomas is a troubled man who's got an issue with drugs and alcohol, specifically alcohol with this particular case. My client admits it. In the pre-sentence report, I think he was pretty open and honest. He has a severe drinking problem, and unfortunately, he compounds that issue by continuing to choose to get behind the wheel of a car and operate it. Your Honor, my client, early on, when I met him, wanted to take responsibility for this. I believe he pled by way of information. He wanted to address this matter. The issue, the reason that this took as long as it did from the plea to today for sentencing is my client this entire time just felt that it wasn't even worth jumping through any more hoops, that because of his record, it was just automatic prison for him. Quite frankly, Your Honor, and I have not heard this from him, this is my own personal viewpoint assessment, but I think Mr. Thomas, quite frankly, has given up on life. And I think it's sad. I know while he was in our jail, he's made various threats for suicide. I know he's been put on suicide watch. I know initially we had a sentencing date about a month ago. He refused to cooperate with probation totally. He did reverse course on that, and at the very least cooperated with the probation department and Lake Geauga with their drug and alcohol assessment. Granted, yesterday NeoCap tried to interview him. He did refuse that. But Your Honor, my client, again, is a troubled man, and I know that there's mandatory time here with the OVI. I know that there's mandatory, that the court has the discretion between local time or prison time. With respect to the prosecutor, because I know we've had discussions on this, early on we have a joint recommendation for 9 months on this case. However, yesterday afternoon Mr. Thomas called me. I guess there was a glimmer of hope put under him that he might be eligible for treatment. And I think, Your Honor, I think that's what he needed to hear in life was that there might be something. And he called me at the end of the day. I had to leave a little early yesterday to take care of my kid, explaining this. So I want the court to hear it directly from Mr. Thomas, because I know he hasn't been very cooperative. I know his record is horrible, and I know under most circumstances this court probably wouldn't even consider this request. But I think Mr. Thomas is sincere when he called me yesterday. I briefly spoke to him before Your Honor came out. He told me he's prepared to speak. So at this point, Your Honor, I'm going to ask the court to either consider what Mr. Thomas would like or the joint recommendation. Thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Thomas, what do you want to tell me?
Your Honor, I just wanted to address the court and let it be known that I wasn't trying to not comply with my pre-sentence report. I just didn't have any hope that I would possibly get treatment or probation. And I spoke with the forensic psychologist, and she, after we had spoke, she told me that she was going to recommend 90 days in Lake Concord Pines or a treatment facility. And I asked her if possibly after that if I could go to a sober house, because I would like to get a home group and a sponsor so that I can stay sober, you know, because I'm just worried about other people's well-being, and me behind the wheel of a vehicle is dangerous not only to myself but to everybody else around me that could possibly either get seriously injured or die, and I just don't want that to happen. So I'm willing to try to get some sobriety and change for other people's well-being as well as my own. You know?
Didn't you just do the jail treatment program last fall?
That was a year ago in March, yeah.
Well, I think it was in the fall, but whatever. Okay, it was recent. So what did you do with the jail treatment program?
I successfully completed it.
What does
They
that
gave
mean?
me-
What does that mean, successfully completed it?
Well, I successfully completed it as far as when I got out, I was seeing Signature Health for my psych evaluations, and I saw a psychologist and she prescribed me medication, but it wasn't a full assessment, so I never got diagnosed with anything for the Abilify that they gave me. But they also gave me a booze bar for anxiety, which I do have social anxiety, and I think that's one of the reasons that I drink, is because it makes it easier for me to communicate with people.
And it keeps landing you. I assume all these theft convictions over the years, the drugs and alcohol are tied in, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And the disorderly conducts.
Right.
It's all alcohol, you know.
Okay, so why would this stop now, as opposed to the last 25 years?
I really haven't tried to get treatment any other time, Your Honor.
Well, you went to treatment, you went to the jail treatment, and now, I don't know how hard that is to complete successfully in their terms. I imagine you could do the minimal amount and then successfully complete it, right? So it really isn't successful. Okay?
No.
It checks a box for statistics for them. So up until 4/10 yesterday, you just wanted to do the 9 months and get on with it, right?
No, I've been thinking about it since I originally was going to not do the pre-sentence report because I thought it was hopeless and I was just going to go to prison anyway. I've been thinking about it since then. I left a message while my attorney was on vacation for a week for him to come and see me, and I guess he was been too busy to be able to do that, or I would have discussed it with him way before now. I finally got through to him on the phone yesterday.
All right, anything else you want to say?
No, sir, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Rhoda?
We would just need to adopt the recommendation, Judge, of 9 months in prison.
Okay. All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the drug and alcohol evaluation. So like I said, Mr. Thomas, there's nothing I can do that's going to help you. Nothing I can do. I mean, you've been around the block many times. We're in the jail treatment program and successfully completed that, whatever that means. But you didn't implement whatever it is you may or may not have learned.
And they scheduled a full assessment that I never got a chance to make it to
Why didn't you make it?
because of ending up in jail for the third OVI.
For this one?
The one before this one, Your Honor.
The one in Painesville Municipal?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
So what exactly, you can't stop drinking. What other problems do you have besides that?
Cocaine, but I don't, that's not really a drug that I abuse a lot. That's when I drink, sometimes I use it.
All right, I'm going to place you on community control for 5 years. You're going to serve 90 days in jail with credit for 17. The last 30 days, you're going to be in the jail treatment program, complete it and follow the recommendations. And I guess completing it's the easy part. Paying attention and getting something out of it's the hard part. figure out how you want to play it. You're gonna go to NeoCap, you're gonna get into that program, complete that program, and follow those recommendations. After that, you're gonna go to either Concord Pines or Lake House, complete that program and follow recommendations, complete that. You're gonna reside in a sober living facility for a minimum of 6 months. No drugs or alcohol with screens. You get a mental health evaluation and follow those recommendations, which means following up as they recommend. You're going to go to at least 4 AA meetings a week and obtain a sponsor. Do you understand the terms?
Yes, sir.
Any question about the terms?
No, sir.
Okay. I can't help you. I can make stuff available to help you if you want to be helped. If you violate, then state will file a motion to terminate your community control, and if I find you violated, you face 30 months in prison. You understand that?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
There's a mandatory fine in the amount of $1,350. And I'm going to suspend your driver's license for a period of 4 years. Anything else, Ms. Naroda?
Can I say something, Your Honor?
Yep.
When I spoke with the probation department, I specified that not going to NeoCamp to them. And I don't know if they didn't mention that or not, or.
No, they mentioned it. They mentioned it. You know why you don't think you need that?
I just.
Oh, go ahead and say what you want. I mean, I'm not going to change my mind. Go ahead and say what you want. Now, if you want to, you can just go over there, refuse to get into the jail treatment program, and then we'll come back. Or you can complete it, and then you can refuse to go to NeoCamp, and then we'll come back. Or you can get your shit together and do what we're suggesting you do so you don't keep ending up back here. But I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. It ain't my life, it's your life. Do whatever you want. Like I said, I can't help you. So you don't want to go to NeoCamp. Then if you don't want to go to NeoCamp, then when you're done over there, just refuse to go to NeoCamp, and we'll meet again. Or maybe you can try something different that will result in a different course for the next 25 years. But that's completely up to you. Ms. Naroda?
Was there a restitution, Mr. Hitchens?
Oh, yeah, $6,819.58. Anything else, Mr. Watson?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right, we're adjourned. You see, now wait a minute. Now, you understand something, Mr. Thomas, okay? They came in here working out a joint recommendation of 9 months in prison, okay? You didn't want that, you wanted treatment, okay? Now, you can talk to Mr. Watson, and he'll readily tell you that I really don't give a shit about joint recommendations, okay? I do what I think needs to be done under the circumstances, whether it's above the recommendation or below the recommendation, or if I think it's appropriate, the recommendation, okay? So I certainly don't care what you want, that you want to dictate to me the terms of what your probation is going to be, okay? Because I'll tell you as I sit here now, I think you blowing off NeoCap, okay, is going to land you right back here at the next available opportunity, which ain't going to be too long after you're free, okay? So I don't care what your recommendation is or what you want, okay? I'm doing what I think needs to be done, so you stop coming back here. But once again, do with it what you want. All right, this is 24-14-15. Jeremy Thomas, violation of community control, violation. Discharge from NeoCap June 23rd. You understand that charge?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Watson?
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court. It's my understanding that Mr. Thomas will waive his final hearing this morning and enter a plea of guilty to the violation, Your Honor.
All right, is that what you want to do?
Yes, sir.
All right, what's your plea to that allegation?
Guilty, Your Honor.
All right, I'll accept your guilty plea and find you guilty. Okay, what do you want? What do you want to say?
Your Honor, when I got the NeoCap, I decided that, you know, that place is for changing your thinking, and I really don't have a problem with my thinking unless I'm intoxicated. Alcohol is my problem, and everything else you sentenced me to, I needed. Other than that, I've been incarcerated in the Lake County Jail for 11 months.
How do you know what you need?
Because alcohol has been ruining my life for the longest now, and that's what I have a problem with.
So how'd you get kicked out of NeoCap?
I didn't. I just left on my own, Your Honor.
You left on your own. How did you leave on your own?
I told them that I didn't want to be there any longer, just have probation to come and get me.
What else did you tell them?
That was it. I was respectful.
What else did she tell him, Kim? What else did he tell her?
On the termination sheet, it says that, that he wanted to leave that day, or he made vile threats about how he would not hesitate to harm others if he had to stay in the program.
No, you didn't do that?
No, sir.
Why are they lying about you?
I said that I didn't know if I would be able to keep myself from getting into an altercation with somebody. I didn't say I was threatening anybody.
What else you want to say?
That's it, Your Honor.
Mr. Watson?
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court, I'll be extremely brief. I know we had discussions outside of court. I also know or learned in those discussions that Mr. Thomas is no longer welcome back at NeoCap. I did express to the court over the past 2.5, 3 months that Mr. Thomas has been back in the county jail. He had expressed to me that he would like an opportunity to try NeoCap again. However, just this morning, when I came in right before Your Honor came in the courtroom, Mr. Thomas had respectfully requested that he would rather just do his time. I know the court still has a lot of discretion with regards to sentencing. I'm going to respectfully ask the court to consider the fact that Mr. Thomas at least recognizes that he's an alcoholic. Whether or not he's done anything or will do anything to address that, I guess remains to be seen. I do hope for the best for Mr. Thomas. I think he can be a productive citizen, but he really needs to focus on himself and what he needs to do to get better. So I respectfully ask the court to consider a minimum sentence in this case. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the evaluation, considered all the provisions in 29, 20, 11, 12, and 13. Obviously, you're no longer amenable to community control. I'm going to sentence you on count 1 to 24 months in prison, count 2, 12 months in prison, count 3, 180 days in the Lake County Jail. Those sentences will be concurrent to one another with credit for 300 days. Anything else, Mr. Watson?
Nothing further, Your Honor.